Deki's story, Embracing Disability with Courage, written by Ugyen Tshomo and Faridah Serajul. Illustrated by Praveen Ghalley. Deki was very excited about her first day at a new school. She grabbed her green backpack and happily set off. As she walked through a narrow courtyard, she noticed a group of children staring at her, rolling their eyes at each other. Her throat tightened and a gulp escaped her lips in nervousness. "Hey you!" A sharp noise pierced her ears. "What happened to your hat?" one of the girls in the group asked. Instantly, Deki slid her hands into the blouse. "I was born like this," she mumbled, becoming red. She curled her shoulder as she pictured the people pointing at her. "Oh, if only I could disappear," she murmured. As she hesitantly stepped into the classroom, she heard her classmates whispering and giggling behind her back. She tried to maintain her poise while looking for her seat. "I'm Sonam, let's sit together," a girl with a big smile said. "Thank you," said Deki with a lump forming in her throat as she sat next to her. Just then, "Hey, can you write with that hand?" Singe poked. Everyone in the class laughed. She felt tears pricking at the corner of her eyes. Seeing her new friend's sudden expression, Sonam screamed, "Shut up!" at the top of her voice. Attention quickly diverted to Sonam. They stared at her and fell silent. They noticed the stern expression on Sonam's face. The words, the giggles, and the laughs trailed off as they noticed the stern expression on Sonam's face. And the noises gradually died until the only sound was the soft rustle of papers and the creak of chairs. Deki took a deep breath and closed her eyes as she tried to calm her racing thoughts. "Why is everyone staring at me?" she asked herself. During recess, Deki sat alone on a bench in front of the class, watching her classmates play. She felt like an outsider, like she didn't belong there. "Why aren't you playing?" It was Sonam. "I don't feel like," stammered Deki, looking down at her feet. "Come on, let's play catch," she said, tossing her a ball. Deki tried to catch it, but it slipped through her palm and rolled away. Other friends laughed. "See, I knew you couldn't do it," said Singe. "Poor creature," said the other. "Without fingers," said another. "Useless creature," chimed in the fourth. Then there were other mean comments and it went on and on. Her tears helplessly flowed all over her cheeks. "I, too, can do things," she wanted to say, but her voice died down in her throat. Sob, sob, sob. "Whoa, what?" one of the girls sneered. "Don't you see you're so different from us?" and grinned at her. Her body trembled and sweated. Her head, as heavy as a log, hung. Her weak eyes searched for Sonam, her only solace. But to her dismay, she found that Sonam had already left. Her heart sank. Off she ran to her house with tears streaming down her face. She ran as fast as her legs could carry her, crying all the way. Dung! She pushed the door hard open with all her might. Her mother frowned at her, but she quickly returned when she saw her daughter crying in pain. "What happened, Deki?" asked her mother, hugging her. "They called me useless. They said I'm different from them," she stuttered. "Why, Amma? Why are my hands like this?" she sobbed in great pain. Her mother held her close. "They said you're different?" "Yes, you're different, dear," her mother said with her usual soothing voice, "but you're not useless." Then she showed her the embroidered piece of towel and asked, "Who did this?" "I did it," said Deki in a low tone. "Don't you think that you're special and talented?" Deki's eyes glowed with happiness. "Yes," said Deki, "I'm special, I'm different, and I'm talented. Don't let anyone make you feel you're less than what you are," her mother said with a reassuring tone. Deki nodded with a bright smile on her face. Just then, a knock at the door jolted them. Deki opened the door to see her best friend Sonam. "Who's there?" asked her mother. "It's Sonam, Amma," replied Deki. "Sorry," Sonam said with a hint of regret. "No problem," Deki replied, attempting to retrieve the embroidered towel. However, Sonam's hand quickly held it, and with a tone of amazement, she exclaimed, "Wow! Who created this masterpiece?" Deki made it. It was Deki's mother. "Wow, Deki, you made this?" asked Sonam with a bright smile on her face. "Yes," Deki mumbled, trying to avoid Sonam's glance. "Could you please embroider my bag too?" pleaded Sonam with her clamped palms. Deki was about to say no when her mother interrupted and said, "Yes, she will." Deki gave her mom a grumpy expression, and her mom provided a comforting look while winking her eyes. As Deki walked through the stucco path to her class the next day, she couldn't shake the feeling of fear and anxiety that crept up her spine, leaving her confused and unsure of what to happen next. As she neared the door of the class, she could hear the thud, thud, thud sound of her racing heart. Closing her eyes, she stepped into the class. To her surprise, everyone was busy looking at the beautiful embroidery on Sonam's back. "That's so amazing," said another. "How beautiful it looks on your back," added the third. Just then, Sonam saw Deki. She smiled and gave her big thumbs up. For the first time, Deki felt a sense of acceptance in the class. She wore a big smile from that day onwards. Narrated by King.